for being here. Thank you for being a subscriber. This is a video I thought about, I wanted to do, and I love just sharing straight up like a conversation. So that's what I'm going to do here. The thing that I wanted to share about this idea of aging and loving it is that it's hard to love it. There's a reason why our culture brings it down when we're aging. It's hierarchical. We celebrate youth, we celebrate babies, we celebrate toddlers, school age children, teen time, early 20s, college, and all of that development to get to creating a family. That is sort of our cultural setup for family driven lifestyle. I think that would be related culturally to religious precepts of how our culture was began so long ago. It's a very old way of looking at the human life because the reality is that we have the ability to live older. We have the ability to live really to be centenarians, to be into the hundreds. If you take care of yourself, if you don't do a lot of things, if you do a lot of things, it's possible without any accidents or any kind of obstacle. It is possible. So, why would we look at the time from 0 to 40 as being the highlight of our culture's world? Why would it be that way? And I ask this question because I think it's important to be asked and to think about. So much of our life is busy, busy, busy. We do so many things, but to sit and to really ponder why you are feeling maybe not great about aging, or this is the end, woe is me, I've got aches and pains that I can't shake, etc., etc., whatever the situation is. And maybe you know someone like this, maybe you're not like this, but you know someone. Taking time to philosophically think about these things is a very calming activity for the nervous system. It's very good activity to sit and ponder the world, life. Because the reality is, while we're seeing older women in media, we're seeing a lot of older 80s supermodels coming to tell their story about aging. We're seeing celebrities going through menopause. They're telling their story. This is all elevating everything, right? Like it's very positive and wonderful. At the time that I was going through perimenopause, it wasn't celebrated this way. There were a few publications, a few things not celebrated, and that has changed in just about 10 years. So that's great, celebrating the wins. But still, we have a medical system driven around keeping people old with all of the medications that are required, keeping people limping along into old age, reliant upon Western medicine. That's a problem. That's the problem. It takes away our independence of aging in our own unique way. And sometimes we need to fortify, right? We need to fortify with healthy supplements. I do that. I talk a lot about that. It's important to fortify the body with herbs. And granted, some of these medicines may be holistic, and I am not aware. But one of the problems with all of these medications is that it creates a lot of side effects for the person that is resonant with old age. And we all know that arthritis is a typical aging um, malaise disease, you could call it. It's just something that happens. But with these cultural fixes of taking a pill, it undermines the experience of aging. And a lot of people don't want to say gracefully, but I like to say, I still love the word grace. I don't know why that's a bad word, but to age with strength, to age in a strong way. If you've been on meds for a long time, like, what can you do? Talk to your doctor about it, see what they say. But one thing that you can do if you are in this segue of like being prescribed medications for cholesterol, et cetera, is to think about your lifestyle because your lifestyle is the biggest indicator of your longevity, hands down. If you exercise, if you eat well, if you hydrate, if you nourish with meaningful supplements, if you go to sleep at a good time, if you have a life that calms the nervous system, you can expect longevity. So, the problem that's happening is we are getting longevity with a stitched together medical program of medications, but the self efficacy is waning because of the side effects. And if we can have a whole person growing, maturing, and understanding that a lifestyle centered way of living can offer that self efficacy in your longevity, then we can begin look at aging in a different way where we're not dependent on an outside source to keep us alive. So, in some ways, the mindset is really critical here to sustain longevity with self efficacy. And that is where having having aging as sort of a sideline project to people who are just surviving in their lives, that's where we find an intersection in accepting our age. So when we are able to accept our age, we are able to begin to love it. And that begins early. That begins when you are a youngster, to admire, to be taught to admire elders for their wisdom and sensitivity to life, to be able to synthesize what they've been through and modernize it. And a lot of times, elders who embrace technology, embrace the future, embrace AI, they look and seem young simply from their mindset. When we can accept our person throughout time, adapt, be interested in adapting, and feel flexible and in a flow of nature, that's when you find the centenarians who love being alive. It's an adventure that's ever changing. And when we begin, just like arthritis, begin to crystallize, our body begins to harden up. So sometimes it's hard to be in the flow when you're feeling like you're not literally not in the flow with your joints. But that particularity of having a sense of flow by keeping up with technology, keeping up with the times, keeping up with new innovations to celebrate life, that helps you to love life because you are engaging in actively being a part of the flow of nature. And you'll be invited to everything, you'll be included in everything. People want to see you there because you're an inspiration. So that takes a lot of personal development, a lot of intention to get to that point in aging. And I am on the wavelength of doing that, reinventing myself at 50, starting a business, setting a trail for myself, inviting multiple streams of income into my world. That's what I have done to age with love, to teach people about aging. And I'm wondering, what about you? I'd love to hear your story because I know you have one, and I would love to hear it. Drop me a message either here on Substack or Instagram, or email me, Angela at beautifyfaceyoga.com. I would love to hear your story, and I would love to interview you if you want to be interviewed. I think this is an interesting topic, and I'm planning to really amplify it a little bit more. So tell me, how do you age in a way where you can love it? Do you even think about it? If you start thinking about it, you'll do it. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and thanks for reading my newsletter. Bye, bye, bye.